what are the qualities you let people see? What are the things that you let people see about you?
So yeah, my attitude, for sure, always staying. Uh, just optimistic is another word you can throw out, but I definitely don't let anything put me down.
I don't know what I was drawing, but I drew this mask, and I wrote hardworking, caring, and serious. So now we're gonna go to the back. And the back is different than the front. The back is, what are three things that you normally don't let people see?
Sorry about that. Thinking of one more.
Yeah. Well, if you got two, and maybe it will come up as we start talking about it. No pressure.
Okay, cool.
All right. Welcome to the Taking Off the Mask podcast. My name is Ashanti Branch, and I'm really glad you've joined us. Today's guest is Aaron Jackson. Aaron is a scholar. He's a college student. He's an Oaklander via Oklahoma. And I had a really great conversation with him. I think one of the most beautiful pieces about this conversation was as Aaron began to make his mask, he got to the place on the back where he was like, I only got two. And I was like, man, whatever you got is perfect, And after we began to share a mask, and after I first talked about the back of mine, he then said, after you mentioned those things, there's a couple of things that I would like to mention. And he talked about more from the back of his mask. I think it was just beautiful, just seeing how it works in real time. That sometimes finding the space of trust, believing in someone else, trusting them enough to hear your truth, allows you to have more permission to speak some of your truth. We know that in this campaign of the Million Mask Movement, we know that everybody doesn't feel comfortable sharing their mask, and we get it. But I'm so thankful that Aaron lets you hear from an example of that place of like, I don't have anything else to write. And then just recognizing that sometimes it just requires us to find a little trust, find a little safety. And it doesn't exist everywhere. But I'm glad that he felt comfortable to even go deeper on the back of his mask than he was originally planning. I'm so glad that we got to be in this conversation. As you hear in the podcast, I offer him an internship for the summer. So I don't know what his plans are in the future, but I've already offered him a job. So don't think you're going to try and hire him. So thankful for this young man and joining our show. And he's actually one of the first young men who's actually was recommended by another guest. So Clive, who was one of our previous guests, he recommended us to connect with Aaron. And that's so beautiful that when one young man finds a way to take off his mask and he gives others opportunities to find that same space, that's how this movement is going to grow. And so we look forward to you being a part of this movement. If you want to make a mask, you can go to 100kmasks.com. That's www.100kmasks.com. And we look forward to you being a part of this movement with us. Thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Tell the audience, who you are, maybe where you're from, whatever you feel comfortable telling us about you. Man, we're going to jump into the work.
Okay. My name is Aaron. I'm right here in Oakland. I'm in college right now. For sure, I try to, definitely not even trying, but, I'm a scholar for sure. I'll say that. Just really about putting the work in, dealing with really anything, for sure. I'm very passionate with everything I do. Try to really make changes as far as, to better my life. I've come, I've been around everywhere. Not really everywhere. Let me calm down. But just as far as, just being out in different states and whatnot. I was actually born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And, I've lived in Texas for a while too. So that Southern background is definitely in me. Respect, definitely one value that, I carry with me. I'm gonna continue to carry with me. But about half my life, I've been in Oklahoma, Texas as well, just those two places, transitioning back and forth. And then about my other half of my life, I've been here in Oakland, California, just as a whole. Uh, Let me say California is definitely home for me. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Uh, you know, Good vibes, great people, personalities all around that, you can just really gravitate to. And that's something I really appreciate living here in the Bay.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, I am glad that you're here with us today. And I this podcast has been a journey of having men, young and old, to have a space to take off their mask. It's called taking off the mask. And I don't know how much Clive told you about where we're about to go today, but I'm glad you're here because one of the things that we want to do is, as much as we're going to have these shows, polished and make them nice, we want to make massive people all over the world more more quickly, right? So some of the shows are longer, but this one's going to be shorter, which is really exciting because you and I are going to jump into a deep place probably pretty quick, and then we're gonna go off on our ways. And what would it be like to that when you met people who you knew were also willing to have a deep conversation that you could get there quicker than waiting to know somebody 20 years and finally find out that they're going through struggles? It's like, why did it need to go that long? Why do we hold back from being more our true authentic selves faster than sometimes it happens? Sometimes it's trust, right? Sometimes it's trust. Sometimes it's
Right.
do you have you ever been in an experience where you had a chance to like kind of get really real, like really fast?
Definitely. I can say on multiple occasions, I've had the chance to connect with people very fast, deeply as well. More recently, uh, in college, like I said, I'm going to the University of San Francisco over in the city. Um, yeah, just one person, one female that I've been talking to. We met in the summer, in this program that we, for first generation college students. And funny thing is, we were in a class together. The teacher broke us out in the breakout rooms or whatnot. It was me, her, and this other cat. The dude's connection, it cut out, and it only left us. And instantly, we just started building. She reached out. No, I'm sorry. She asked for my info as far as like trying to contact me. Gave her my number and just started happening from there. Uh, I've definitely been out in the city. She lives in Frisco. I've seen her in person, so that was definitely a good feeling. Very nice thing that was able to happen. So I've seen her out there. Just really talking, uh, just talking about a lot of things. We definitely gotten gotten deep. She shared a lot about her life, what she's been through, as well as I've shared plenty of things of my life, and just the connection is something really it's something I value definitely, and we're still building, developing, and yeah, I can definitely say she's going to be a person that's going to be in my life, um, for the long run and whatnot. So that's just one example of a deep connection, a fast, deep connection that I've had. Mind you, it's like it's been like 6 months now, but we met, of course, last year. Uh, Let me say, like August or right when summer was in. But like that connection, build it up fast, build it up fast. So that's one.
Right on. Well, today we're gonna do a different experience. You and I are gonna make these masks, and so I think I need. Do you have a piece of paper handy?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I can. I have an index card. Is that cool?
Okay,
Or I can get a
perfect.
paper as
Nope,
well.
index card is perfect. Index card is perfect. That works great. So just fold it in half or split it down the middle. We're gonna just use two sides of that card that you're gonna be using, and there's three steps to this. There's three steps to this math. So I'm really excited to do this with you, and we're gonna jump right in.
I actually have a bigger
Okay.
piece of paper on handy.
Okay,
So
great. So just fold it in half. Fold it in half, and then we're gonna have the left side and the right side, and we're gonna just label them. And the left side will label as the front, and the right side will label as the back. Okay. So take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. So the first step is on the left side, you're going to draw a mask. So whatever you think a mask looks like, a mask. When you think of when you pre-COVID, like we just wore a mask when we first started this call, but pre-COVID, mask had a different meaning for a lot of people. But whatever you think of when you hear the word a mask, like what people use masks for? You know, just draw a mask there. What are you studying?
My major is communication studies.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Are you finished? You got your mask finished?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
Just have
All right.
it.
So second step. So first step is to draw a mask. Second step is we're going to write three words on the left side, which is the front, which represents what are three qualities of yourself that you gladly let the world see. When you think about the qualities of yourself that you would let people see about you, write three qualities that you gladly let the world see, and write those somewhere on the left side.
All right. Got those
Okay.
down.
All right. So take another deep breath. So now we're going to go to the back. And the back is different than the front. The back is what are three things that you normally don't let people see? Three things you don't normally talk about. And find three that you feel comfortable writing because those are the things we're going to share together. So three things, characteristics, qualities, situations that you normally don't talk much about, and write those on the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Thinking of one more.
Yeah.
To put it down.
Well, if you got two, and maybe it will come up as we start talking about it. No pressure.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So now, thank you for being a part of this movement that we're doing. You get to decide who goes first. Either you go first or I go first, and you're the guest, so you get to choose.
I'll go first. I don't mind. That's cool.
Okay. So what you do is we'll just fold that paper back so that you only see the front, and then just show us the front of the mask and tell us about what you wrote on the front.
Okay. So yeah, this is what I drew. Definitely as far as before COVID, what I think when I think of a mask is, definitely trying to hide your identity. For sure, usually, in most cases, like maybe crime to be done, or even like Halloween, maybe like a costume. Just the whole face is covered. That's what comes to mind when I think mask. And the three values or qualities of mine that I definitely, or what was it that people see in me, or that I think people see?
What are the qualities you let people see? What are the things that you let people see about you?
Okay. So yeah, my attitude, for sure, always staying. Just optimistic is another word you can throw out, but I definitely don't let anything put me down. And when it comes to my attitude, just always ready to go. Not really turning anything down. yeah, I could explain that better, but yeah, my attitude for sure, my personality as well. My personality, I'm a very enthusiastic individual, and I definitely share that, like just in communicating in general. Um, so yeah, my personality is definitely something that shines. Um, and then lastly, my resilience. Yeah, my life has been been a run, to say the least. I mean, it's been a journey. I'm glad that I got here, but hard times, bad experiences is definitely something I've experienced. So just always keeping my head up, looking for the next day, moving on, and just trying to get better and not letting like any of those bad experiences or bad situations put me down.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that, brother. Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Right.
So my, I don't know what I was drawing, but I drew this mask, and I wrote hardworking, caring, and serious. And caring, I've made lots of masks over the years. Caring is a new one that I put on here. I'm from a recent podcast. A man said caring, and I'm like, why don't I ever write caring? I really try and show that I'm caring, that I really care about people. I really care about lots of things. I care about education. I care about our world. I care about our country. I care about our well-being of people. Um, and so I put caring today as a word I don't think I've ever used, but I'm excited to start exploring. Why do I think of that when I write the words? I wrote hardworking because it's Saturday, right? Like we're here. You made time for today, but we're getting at it, right? We got things to do, and so trying to make the most of the moments that are in each week. Like, tomorrow's not promised, and so I feel like my role is to kind of work hard and push, you know, and sometimes they can be I can take it to the extreme sometimes, but I believe in hard work, and that was serious because as much as I like to have fun and I'm really caring, like I'm really sometimes serious. Sometimes when I get into like work mode, like people are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Well, you look like you're mad." And I'm like, "No, I'm not mad. I'm just focused, right?" I'm like, "We got something to do, right?" And I think
Right.
sometimes there's that balance. Usually, I put funny on the front because I'm usually always smiling and trying to make jokes or whatever. Um, and it's that balance between trying to be funny but also being really serious. So those are the front: hardworking, caring, and serious.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, brother. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath. So now we're going to the back.
All right.
All right.
So, so yeah, my first one, I actually wrote down my past experiences. Sure, with closer closer people in my circle, they know a bit about my life, but I try not to go for too far into my past experiences because there's no need to dwell on them. I'm all about keeping it pushing and moving on, looking for things in the brighter future. So in my past experiences, I really don't share too often, especially with people that I'm meeting for the first time, or for knowing them for a short period of time. Um, and the other thing is my anxiety. Uh, I can say I'm anxious. I'm a very anxious person, but at the same time, like I'm really not. It really depends. Um, but yeah, it's definitely there. Sometimes I think too much for sure, and that it definitely gets overwhelming. But yeah, I try to bottle it down at the end of the day and just continue to keep things pushing. But yeah, those are the only two I have with me. I didn't think of another one.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you, brother. All right. So the back of mine. I wrote the back. I wrote fear of failure. I wrote
Mm,
trauma from childhood and sadness about death. Um, Fear of failure, like I think my hard working on the front is because I am so afraid to fail. And I think sometimes I take the fear of failure to an extreme. Like, I, I sometimes, like I was telling one of my interns a while back that, I have all these videos I made, but I didn't share them. They're on my phone. Like I've been like, cause I'll overjudge it, or I'll be afraid that it's going to be not liked, or it's going to be whatever. I tell myself some story and then it will just stay on my phone. So I like have hundreds of videos that are in my phone. And so I've been really trying to push past that fear of failure. And really this year, I've been really posting every day videos from old school videos that I made, like that I've told myself, no one wants to see that. No one cares about that. But I recorded it because I thought somebody would care about it. And then I would tell myself no. And so that's one. Trauma. I think that's like you talked about the past experiences. I felt like, a lot of things in my childhood, I think, and I don't talk much about them. I've been literally early in the early stages, just recently talking about some of them that I need to break free from, right? Like, because I think
mm,
for so long I didn't talk about them, maybe thinking that it was not going to be helpful, but they were still in my adult age. It was like they were blocking some progress because they were undealt with. So there was some childhood trauma, and then sadness about death. Like my father died before I was born, and so I've always had this emptiness, like feeling like an emptiness about my father. And you know, father son movies are my kind of my favorite and the worst, right? Because I dreamed of having a father, um, and so I think there's a deep it's something I'm working on still today, right? Like that feeling of emptiness. I'm an old dude, right? Why am I still thinking about this happened before I was born? I never met him, but I feel it, and that's something I'm working on. And my grandmother last year, January, my grandmother passed. So this is January, and we're at the end of January. So January has just been a really a feeling month because I'm missing her a lot, and I didn't deal with it last year. I kind of just stuffed it, get back to work, get back to work, and now I'm starting to accept that I never dealt with it really, and so I'm trying to because I'm making more progress this year of letting myself feel the feelings through to completion. I don't usually I just stuff the feeling so it never gets completed. So it just keeps coming back because it's waiting for me to deal with it, right? And so I'm
right.
like still spinning that feeling. And so my goal is to, let myself start feeling it, feel it all the way through. So yeah, that's the back of my mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, trauma and sadness about death is definitely two I can relate with very much. Yeah, again, I don't talk too much about what I've been through. As I said, my past experiences, definitely trauma was involved. But yeah, as well as you know, deaths and just like seeming to be back to back. In my case, I mean, yeah, I've lost a lot of people in my family as far as my mom. Yeah, I was my parents, my mom and dad divorced when I was like 14. So yeah, my dad and I we came to Cali. My mom is with my two other siblings, younger siblings. They stayed in Oklahoma, in Texas, that area. And yeah, when they divorced, I didn't get a chance to speak to her ever again. And unfortunately, she passed while she was out there in Oklahoma, and I was in California. So yeah, that definitely was something um, that wasn't quite resolved within me. But like you said, try to not even stuff it with something to replace the feeling or to get rid of the feeling. But yeah, I definitely never came to really like feel that feel the pain, feel like really grieve.
Yeah.
um Going along with my mother, my grandma, on my dad's side. um it's another story. I'm not even gonna get into it. Because as far as the time goes, but yeah, my grandma and then my great grandma as well. So yeah, all in. Now my grandma and great grandma both last year. Um, so yeah, it was pretty heavy, but I definitely, just as all that is to say, I relate with those two last ones you had, trauma and those bad feelings with death.
Man, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, brother. I appreciate it. I didn't want to make you bring up old feelings, but I want you to know I'm even though we just recently met, like I'm here for you. If you ever feel like you want to talk about it, there's an adventure that I would love to invite you on one of these days when you're ready. Maybe a Saturday, you, me, and Clive can go on an adventure. Uh, Clive and I just recently went on one, and maybe you'll be welcome. You'll be invited. You're welcome to come on an adventure with us. So it takes about an hour, maybe. But you don't have to decide right now. There's no pressure to come on the adventure, but so just a way of doing some symbolic, thing just to kind of take it in. And so I appreciate you for being willing to be on the show today. Thank you for, is there anything like just based on just this quick experience we just had together? I know you got to get ready to go. How was that for you? How was that for you? And, maybe even just what do you think, how do you think this could benefit other men in your community or in your world or that, to have a space like this, just to kind of be like, I'm human and I'm not alone. Like there's other people who are from the outside, you wouldn't know these things, but we're human. We have a lot of similarities, right? And so imagine that.
Definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a good feeling I had to be able to share, my experiences with you. Just having a space to do that is everything. I've done some work with work in restorative justice, RJ circles. Maybe you know about that. But yeah, it's definitely just a place as far as restorative justice that I can really be myself, be vulnerable, and really just share whatever I want to share. So coming back to here, I appreciate you for giving me a space to do that. And as far as you know your personality, I definitely feel comfortable sharing that with you. Yeah, so definitely, it's a great feeling just to let that out. I feel that too many guys my age or even older guys hold a lot of stuff in, maybe too much, and definitely need to let it out here and there. It really does help, just someone to listen to what you have to say, whatever you have to share, and that's a big help as far as improving your overall character, I feel.
Yeah, man. Damn, man. Thank you. And I just want to say, like, we're a small organization, but if in your college career, if you find yourself want to do an internship and be a part of this movement, I want you to reach out, and I want to offer you a potential internship to come and help us with this movement. There's probably young people who men in your community who would be more easily talking to you than they would to me. So maybe you can be a part of our podcast and help interview some young men in your community, right? And I'm not to interview you. We just introduced each other and then we just made a mask. So it's not really an interview even. It's really just a space to give people permission to be more seen and more heard. And so I'm glad you felt that. That's what I wanted to create for you. And thank you for being here on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate everything, man.
If what you heard today you enjoyed, if you've listened to this and you found something inspiring, please like and subscribe to this podcast. That's the best way for someone to find this podcast, maybe like you did. Please tell someone about it. If listen to some of our previous episodes, and if one of them rings out to you, please share it with somebody you know. We also invite people to join us in a face-to-face where they come together with another person to make a mask and talk about that mask together. They're short conversations, about 20, 30 minutes. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please send us a message, send us in the comments below, let us know that you're interested in that. And we look forward to you joining the movement of the Million Mask Movement. And check out our new shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but this is our new shirt, the Million Mask Movement. And so we'll have these soon available. But we look forward to you being a part of the movement and supporting our work. Please consider supporting the work that we do in Ever Forward and in the work that we do in the Million Mask Movement to let people around the world realize that they're not alone. Thank you.